All right, what is going on? What is Gucci? What is Gucci? Welcome to the stream, dog. Welcome to what would be Take Profit Tuesday, but no. Not today, big fellas. Not today. I am still holding. Still holding from you know where, big fella. You know, it's really starting to look like the low of the year is in. You know what I mean? It looks like the low of the year is in. What do y'all think? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Excuse me, I just had Chipotle, so may need to cough a little bit. What's good? Mason, Naruto, Eminem, Remy, Willow, Felix, Marvelous, Kieran, Hot Shot. How are we feeling today? It's actually pretty hot outside. It's pretty hot outside. I had the windows cracked a little bit. I had my music loud, and then one of my neighbors was outside. I ain't gonna tell you what she was wearing, but she shouldn't have been wearing what she was wearing. And then she's like, starts staring at me. Not today, Satan. Not today. I had to drive past her. You know what I mean? I had to keep going. I'm like, no. I got a stream to go to. I don't have time for, you know what I'm saying? What did I get from Chipotle? Chipotle chicken, like honey Chipotle chicken. It's like some special they got going on. So I got it. That's what I got. What's good, Gavin, Max, Jay, Shay? Cool to experience the crash and recovery. Lots learned for the next time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, I'm not coughing from that dank, Willow. I can't... If I streamed stoned, it would not go well. I would be talking slow. I'd be laughing a lot. I'd forget fucking everything. I couldn't do what I could do now. What's good, Torty? Well, she was either into me and the car, or she was pissed off because she was on the phone and I was playing loud music. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll never know. I'm not going to go up and ask her. You know what I mean? We'll just lay this whole thing to rest. You know what I'm saying? Focus, ladies and gentlemen, focus. All right. Eliminate distractions. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary, right? Marcus Aurelius? Yeah. So. But we'll never know, Mason. We'll never know. What's good, Jordan? What's good? So, where to begin? Where to begin? Where do you guys want to begin today? Where do you want to begin today? I don't know. Let's go over to the 5-minute time frame, or down to the 5-minute time frame. I lied. The 1-minute time frame. The GOAT time frame. The time frame that everybody says to not trade. Right? She wasn't vibing with the heavy rock music. I was actually playing Dumb, Dumb, and Dumber. Let's go. Good song. Not being salmon in bullish conditions when there is lows. Well, the thing about NQ today, the difference between NQ and ES, there was a reason I talked about ES and not NQ. There was a reason for that. And I gave you the low of the year, and I pretty much gave you close to the low of today. I just give you all kind of lows. I give you the lows. Every once in a while, I'll give you the high. Markets have been bullish, so I'm not trying... Sorry, excuse me. I'm not trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying? What do you think was the reasoning for this, right? At 8:39, which I believe is here. Okay, right there. The NQ data high met. That's at 8:36. That's this down candle here. There's an imbalance right there. And then we started to trade off of it. And that's when I was saying, I'm wondering if ES follows suit. But it was the way we made lows here is what did it. All right, here we go. Let's go back to NQ for a minute. Okay, let's look at our equities open. Equities open is here. All right, so what did we do here? What was the initial move here? Yeah, Jordan. It's always the good trades we cut short, right? That should be the title of the stream too. It's always the good trades that we cut short in it. We hold the bad ones, we cut the good ones. Every time, huh? At 7:46, we have a lower low. $7.46. We have a higher low. You see how hard that is? You see how hard that is, chat? Now, why would I title the stream "Getting It Right" when everyone else gets it wrong? Well, if you go look around Twitter, all the people that have like 10 times my following, oh, no trade today, no opportunity today, the market didn't present anything. Okay. Sure. The market just always leaves without you and never gives you a chance, right? Or is that not the case, chat? Do the markets give you an opportunity, or do the markets just run without you? What's the answer? What are we thinking, chat? Do the markets actually take off without you, or do they give you an opportunity? You let me know. What do you think? You think the markets just take off and that's it? Naruto Felix says, Torty, they often give one. The markets always give an opportunity. Right. So, this morning, okay, this is very close, if not almost the exact same thing that I used to get funded again yesterday, right? Which, by the way, I was going to include this in the video. They didn't send the certificate until like way later in the evening, like a couple hours later. I was like, thanks, but what kind of shit is that? You know what I mean? So there's May 12th. That was yesterday. Okay, so again, I wanted to put that in the recording just for like extra, you know, I don't know. Some people are weird. Some people might be like, oh, he's lying. Yeah, lying on profits, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. And this is what I suggest for you guys as well. Print that bitch off, dog. Print it off. Okay. My other one's on the wall. My other one is on the wall. So whenever you get funded, right, even though you don't drop a like on the video, we got 55 people, not even 20 likes, right? You guys fucking hate me. Still to this day, after 2.5 years, giving you free money in the Discord, free trade ideas, give you the low of the year, give you the low of the day. It's never enough. It's never enough. You know what I mean? Like my exes. I'm just never enough, man. Never fucking enough. Oh well. Oh well. Deal with it. Anyway, point is, what did we talk about yesterday? I don't remember. Yeah. Excuse me. Again, I gotta stop eating lunch before the streams. I gotta stop doing that. So the only thing that's different about today versus yesterday, right? Not to trade the laggard. Well, yeah, look at Dow. Dow is down. Nasdaq is up almost 2%. So that's a very good roll. The difference is with yesterday, we took out a low and then had our inversion model, my inversion model, up to the highs, right? Now, with what I'm trying to explain to you is this divergence here. Remember, Dow made a lower low on the day, and NQ and ES were both higher. And so, what was the opportunity after that? The opportunity is, okay, we've made the low, next imbalance, right there, right? That is the same idea right there, okay? A higher low versus Nasdaq, and the next, well, you could say you have this down candle here as well. You have this imbalance, very small inversion right there as well. So you got a lot going on in here. So I'd argue there's at least 3 or 4 different opportunities in here. And then the imbalance and all the other imbalances on the way to the data high, which I said I don't know, because there's always going to be some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Margin of error, right? I can be wrong. Okay. It may not be often, but I can be wrong. Okay. And that's why I said I'm wondering if ES follows suit, but I don't know. And of course it did. But when I give you these ideas, even though sometimes they're a little bit late, meaning it may not give you like the low or right after it, it might give you a little bit of a later entry. It's still probabilities, right? But I'm looking at this type of information. That's what I'm looking at. Did we make the same lows? Did we, because we didn't really have like a data low. We only had, I mean, I guess you could technically say we had a data low here, I guess. But the most distinctive thing here was the data high, okay? And so, again, just like with NQ, divergence here, it takes the low, next candle entry. I was going to play that imbalance, and then it took off, and I didn't get a chance to do that. But I did have an order here, and it just took off. So I'm like, okay, well, if NQ ain't it, let me go look at ES. Excuse me. And then that's when I was saying, okay, we're probably going to catch up, or we should. Okay. So drop some ones in the chat if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down here. It's the same shit. It's the same thing from yesterday. The only difference is yesterday had low resistance highs for NQ. Today, the indices had a data high. That's really the only difference. Okay? And the patterns are still there. Okay? Not the bat patterns and the dragons and shit. The patterns of like the entry models. The models that repeat. Models that repeat are by definition patterns. Divergence, entry, run to liquidity. Well, this was a run on liquidity, I could say, because again, like yesterday, it doesn't meet the liquidity and then reverse. So it's not a sweep, it is a run. Right? But that's how I get these types of ideas. We're below, and a lot of this stuff as well was below equities open. All right, 830. The market doesn't trade a lot below the open. All of like 5 points. 5, maybe 6. Quick math, okay? When it barely trades below the open and starts to run, that is a signature of extreme bullishness, right? And then obviously just look at the day now. Look at it at this point. Equities open is right there, okay? And we are obviously a lot higher than where we were. So good luck to shorts, because you're going to need it. Since data high is liquidity and price was there, it was at during equities open, do you usually trade in the direction towards the nearest liquidity? Yes. Yes. That, to me, is the most important. On a day like today. Yesterday, we didn't have, well, I don't think we did. I don't think we had data highs and lows yesterday. But we had that today. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, we were basically trading in the range from London's low, that fat imbalance. I went over all this yesterday. We were basically working within this overall range here. But I gave you upside, and I gave you a partial as it happened, and then I told you next is the highs, and then above that it's going to be the imbalance at 866, I think it was. And then later on the session yesterday, I told you we had those highs, which I think we could get, and we ended up getting that about 30-40 minutes after the session was over, right? So yesterday was easy, okay? A lot of people traded later. A lot of people traded in the bottom half of the range, but almost nobody traded where I was at, the low of the day. Okay. It's not an ego thing. It's just look around. I mean, hell, even ICT himself was trading up in here, and I'm already in. So it's not a knock against him. It's just, you know, when you get better entries than you know, the most famous guy on trading Twitter. So whatever. We're not here for fame. We're here for making money. Okay. Today, data high. Make sense? We usually wait for the liquidity to be taken in a certain direction, Asia and London, and then target some type of other. Right. So I think I get what you're saying. What you're saying, because today's not typical. Okay? Because we're fucking flying. Right? We're flying. And that's beautiful. I mean, my stocks account, I've only partialed a little bit, like one time. And that was only on Microsoft because they had that gap up. Right? Everything else I've held. I'm fucking killing it right now. Okay? These are not days, number one, that you want to trade reversals. You do not, excuse me, you do not want to trade reversals on days like today, where it's massively expansion. There's nothing all that bearish, except maybe at a certain point, probably this weekly imbalance, which I don't even think we're at yet. We're not even there. Okay? That's about it. There's nothing on the daily to me that would signify that we would potentially be bearish. Okay? So no shorts. At least for me. You can short if you want to. You want to be the salmon, be my fucking guest. Okay? But I'm running out of lemon juice. Okay? Look at all the people trying to short in here. They're getting wrecked. And I'm just passively making money because I've been holding this whole time. Again, you know, there's a mental model for this. You want to pick what's efficient and avoid what's inefficient. You see what I'm saying? And shorts are just not it. I've been saying for weeks, I'm bullish on the higher time frame, bullish on the higher time frame. And guess what? Almost every day has presented opportunities for longs. Look how I got funded again yesterday on a long. You see what I'm saying? One of the students in the Discord also got funded yesterday. I'd be willing to put money on he probably went long. Unless it was a currency, then maybe, I don't know. But if they were trading indices, I can almost guarantee that they probably went long. Because we are in a period, we are in a time period where the higher time frame is bullish. I gave you the low. After our 12% day on Nasdaq, I told you I didn't want to see us trade back down in here. We did end up doing that, but that was taking last week's low. And then I wanted to see how we closed for the week. And then even before we got this gap, and this is all in the recordings, this is all in your notes if you ever write this shit down, I told you what we would do. I told you we would go through this gap, we'd come back into it, and then we'd be bullish. And then weeks later, that exact fucking thing happened. Okay? Which is insane. But why is it that I can do that? Because it's based on a market maker buy model. That's it. Okay? Fortune telling. Unlike your fortune cookies at the Chinese restaurant. Right? With all the lucky lottery numbers on the back. We don't need lottery numbers around here. We need probabilities and liquidity. And that's it. A market maker buy model would be what? You could look at the front running contract because there's going to be more distinctive lows down here. But what are you going to have in a market maker buy model? You're going to have manipulation. Okay. What's after manipulation? Low risk buy here or low risk buy here. First leg, second leg, higher. That's it. Excuse me. So it's not some like, you know, magical crystal ball like I pretend it is, you know, just for shits and giggles. I'm telling you what I think is going to happen before it happens, because that's how it's scripted to do things. It's like if you were to go buy a puzzle, right? And then you build it for the first time, and then you build it a second time, and then a third time, and then a fourth time. It's the same puzzle every single time. It's the same pieces. Do you get what I'm saying? It's the same pieces. Manipulation, low risk buy, first stage, second stage, run to liquidity. So if something like that is happening on a higher time frame, why would you look for shorts? You are shorting in a market maker buy model. Why would you do that? You know, excuse me. I told you I'd be coughing a lot today. Hopefully you're not keeping count. I was like arguing the last 3 weeks, telling people it's not bearish. It's not bearish. Oh, but look what happened in 2009, bro. Bro, 2009 was like 70 years ago. Are you fucking stupid? That was a different time period. Different economic, I'll just say economics in general. Different macros, different interest rates, different presidents, different Federal Reserve people. It was a completely different time period. Oh, well, in 2009 it did this. Okay, well, in 2025 it's printing a fucking buy model, and you probably don't know what that is, but I do. And I called out the low to the day, so obviously I know what the fuck I'm doing, right? But people put up these walls. No, this guy with 3,000 followers, he can't be. He can't be smarter than me. Okay, fucking short then. Liquidity is always needed. You know what I'm saying? Liquidity is always needed. Artificially created / manipulated would be determined by the masses, and we know the masses are rarely, if ever, correct. Right. Observe the masses and do the opposite. That's like Trade House's slogan if they had one. You know what I mean? Reaccumulation there on the daily? Oh, I don't know. Probably this. But I would have much rather seen that as a reaccumulation, which it still could be. But at this point, I'm convinced we're probably going to run to these highs instead of trading back down here. But as always, I could be wrong. That's always on the table. I could always, be wrong. But right now, I'm not partialing, bro. I'm holding for the whole fucking shebang. It's cool to say I told you so. I do that a lot. I have so much fun doing that. Just like the MLM industry. I wrote an article almost 3 years ago. Look at the industry now. It's fucked. It's cooked. Lawsuits everywhere. Slandering everywhere. Oh man, you see such and such post? Look, I don't follow hardly anybody from, outside of Trade House in the MLM industry. I don't give a fuck what's going on. All the shit that's going on now, I told you about almost 3 years ago. I've always been ahead of the curve. Always. With concepts, with the fucking markets, and with the state of the industry. I've always been at least a year or more ahead of the curve. Always been. But people ignore me. People continue to ignore me. That's okay. That's all right. Pot was a salmon today. You didn't, excuse me. You didn't make money thanks to my education. You made money because you pressed the buttons. So yeah, I would agree, Mason. I have more than one circle of competence at least in the trading realm, but I would say that market maker models are probably one of them. I mean, if you think about it, if you really think about it, again, ego aside, if you think about it, how many times have you actually seen people trade every stage of a model? Now, there are people out there that do that. On Twitter, there's a guy named Gene. He actually follows me. He does really well. He has his own like following now and does all kind of shit. Great trader. And he pyramids. What's his name? Jade Cat. He pyramids, I believe. You know what I mean? And this year I've also taught you how to do that. Buying below old lows or just after. Adding on to positions if you'd like. I don't always add to my positions. But that's how you supercharge your gains. You know what I mean? But anyway, the point is, how many people actually do that? They trade the low and then right after and then a little bit later, whatever. There's not a lot of us that can do that. But this is what I'm teaching you how to do. We might actually end up getting in that imbalance today. Now that we're like so close to that. We're like 10 points away from that. So that could probably happen. Obviously, that was the massive, you know, price was in a hurry to get there. And yeah, better to trade with the higher time frame trend. I wouldn't say trend, but I'd say, you know, if it's running for liquidity, then get in sync with that. And if you don't, you're a salmon. You could do well going against the tide, but realistically, that's not going to last. You know what I mean? So I've taken too many trades. I've been in this industry too fucking long to just... I get it. You know what I mean? And I agree, Gavin. The gold longs from last night were pretty sick. Macros are every hour, Gavin. Every single hour. Not every hour, not every macro is created equally, but they're pretty much every hour. Oh, damn, Libra, the 15. I've shown you guys a few trades on the 15 second. I know I've shown you probably at least 10 or 20 of those, but most of you probably won't go to the 15 second, so I avoid it altogether. And yeah, Dow Jones is... There's a reason I hardly ever trade Dow Jones. Every once in a while, I will. Today, that's probably getting rid of it. Smack here in a minute. Today, it did offer a lagging scenario in here to get up to data high. But like, bro, data high couldn't even get past London's high. That's ass. That's like just a hot bag of ass. That's horrible. It eventually does that, and that's cool. But then look at it now. It comes all the way back down, actually ends up making a new low of day as part of like the session. That's ass. This is... Dow is just so bad. And part of it, I don't know if United Healthcare is still in the Dow Jones, but it's trash. This is horrible. Is that still the low? Yeah. Was there still opportunities? Yeah. But look at Dow and then look at NQ. Okay. I'll take all of this stuff off. Just look at NQ and then look at Dow. You see what I mean? You can just tell how weak that is. Excuse me, it's barely made it halfway. Barely made it halfway. Nasdaq's like, I'm 3/4 of the way there. So would I long Dow in a long-term stocks account? No. Absolutely not. Tech was the way to go. That's why I gave you what? That's why I gave you Google, even though it's kind of ass. It is ass. But I gave you VST. that has finally came back. And I didn't delete any of the drawings except for like the one imbalance in here. That blue line is still there from when we were back in there. We're finally starting to see that run on liquidity. Excuse me, which is great. But we ended up coming back for that weekly imbalance back in April. That I didn't care for. But now it's starting to do well. So 176, that's still my target. Shit, I'd even say all-time highs. Right? I don't even know if that's tech, to be honest with you. But I also gave you Microsoft, and that was the most banger of the year. That was the most banger stock, bro. Same thing, April 6th, even though it counts it from the 4th instead of the 7th, which is bullshit. So TradingView, you're full of shit. All right. But I gave you that in here. Because remember, that was the what? That was the monthly imbalance. Remember that? November of 2023. We traded into that back in April. Look at the result. Look at the result of that. Banger. Banger. How do I know what stocks to trade, John? The ones I fucking tell you to downplay. The ones that either outperform its index or stocks in the strongest index. So if Nasdaq is the strongest index, then you find stocks within the Nasdaq. So even though Google disappointed, I still have it. I'm like barely up on it. It's really starting to piss me off, but it still has some upside. So we'll see. But one stock that isn't doing as well is not as big of a deal because you have other shit, right? Like Nasdaq, for example. I told you all that stuff back in here. I was telling you I'm buying SPY, I'm buying triple Qs, I'm buying Google, I'm buying Microsoft. I have some VST, not a lot, but you know, I have it, right? And I think that was it. And that's enough to make up for Google not doing well. But look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, lawsuits, they're settling for like billions of dollars. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I didn't even know. So I guess we'd have to find out when I was buying Google versus when those lawsuits went public. If there was a chance that I probably could have known, then, you know, it probably would have been best to just double up on the triple Qs and Microsoft. But I didn't know. So I guess Pelosi didn't know either because I think she was longing Google as well. So, yeah. But it is what it is. I'm not always right. But having a basket of stocks and all of them going your way, one of them, you can afford for one of them to do bad or to not do as well as others. It's fine. It's really not a big deal. It's not. I don't have a single loser in my portfolio. Not a single one. Oh, you only found out recently? It's all good. So, anyway, I mean, that's about it, man. That's about it. Oh, we fell short. But anyway, so if there's one thing that I really want you to get, it's that the opportunities are very close to the lows right after manipulation or right after accumulation. Those are the best trades, bro. Those are the best ones. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to prove it to you. What else can I do? And Tempest? I don't even know. I haven't really been following it, to be honest with you. It came, that's, I think 40 was its IPO. I think that's why I have that. So I traded back below its IPO, and now it's back up again, but I don't care about this. I cared about it back here, right? That stock more than doubled since I gave it to you that weekend. But as of now, I don't care about this. I don't care at all. I think the technology is cool though. If you just go to their website and look it up, it's like healthcare and AI together. I mean, hell, if it saves lives, that's awesome. But as far as buying their stock, who cares? I don't need it. I don't need it. So, let's take a look at gold as well, just so I can show you what I'm talking about. It printed, it did the same shit here. We'll take a look at that too. It printed this last night, which I was watching. Siva told me he was looking at it. He's like, I'm looking at gold. I'm like, okay, I'll take a look. And then I was like, oh shit, we have low resistance highs. So what happens? I had to zoom out for the image yesterday, but we had whatever low that is from 1 o'clock. So what do we do? Engineered low, ran, or swept rather, sorry, swept the engineered low and that low from 1 o'clock. That's the last imbalance right there. Trades through it at 846, 847, down and into it right there. Off of it, imbalance here, it overshoots that a little bit. There's a gap right there too, which it comes back for. Right there, multiple times, trades into the gap there and there. And then look at it. It absolutely moons from that. That's perfect. That is textbook perfection to me. Not buying below the old low, but the low risk buy right after that. How could that be a low risk buy? Well, fucking look at it. Look at it. Original consolidation. I would not overlap stages, to be honest, but if you want to count that as distribution, you can. Either way, I would say we traded lower. This rally to go lower, that was a level of distribution. And what's bearish on the left side of the curve becomes what? On the right side of the curve. What was bullish, or excuse me, what was once bearish becomes what? Bullish. Boom. Manipulation, low risk buy, first stage higher, second stage higher. It's not difficult. It's really not. It all does the same stuff. Whether it's a 1 minute, whether it's a daily, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And yes, okay, so that's a good question. I want to make sure everybody gets this. He said, I'm assuming it's a he. Correct me if I'm wrong. This person said, basically, if there is a divergence, I'm probably going to look for a trade, even if the divergence is in the middle of the range, like today on ES. Yes. Even though it's in the middle of the range, it's time-based because we're at equities open. And we're below equities open. So we're in a discount in a market that on the higher time frame is bullish. Okay, well, thank you for that. You know, I don't want to fucking misgender somebody in today's world, you know, fuck around and you're racist or some shit. You know, it's the fucking world we live in now, I guess, but there's really no difference, bro. Original consolidation, distribution, manipulation, next candle entry, low risk buy, first stage, second stage, all to go higher. What is difficult about that? Okay, 5 minute, same shit. Down candle here, gets traded through, trades back into it, launches, comes back for trailing stops, and then rallies. Okay, how far can price go above a high? An imbalance, do we have one? Nope. But what else do we have? Another set of highs, don't we? Yep. Right? Low resistant highs. If there's no imbalance or anything that would suggest bearishness, it should have an easy time getting up there. Does it have an easy time getting up there? Yeah. Yeah, Lee, right? That's correct. A discount based on the stock exchange open. You're right. You're exactly right. Okay. Same thing here. Low resistant highs. See that? I guess you could probably include that one too. I probably wouldn't have, to be fair, but whatever. Okay, look at it. Multiple lows. We trade higher. We don't really have a lot of imbalances in here on a 1 minute. Yeah, we don't. We have one. Oh, we have a gap right there. We have an imbalance here. That's the last one we have. Right there. Market trades through it, trades back down into this level of distribution to become accumulation, imbalance, imbalance, short-term stops here to go higher, right? It's all the same stuff, bro. It's all the same stuff. I really haven't been shorting that often. I couldn't even tell you the last time I shorted. I took a short trade. Because stocks have been bullish. Why would I short? And I've been killing it going long. There will come a time when I can start shorting, but it ain't right now. So again, it's the same things over and over again. Buying the liquidity, trade in that direction. And that's it, bro. Trading does not have to be any more complicated than that. Just wait for the liquidity to form. Wait for opposing liquidity to be taken. Ideally, a divergence with its peer. Buy the stronger one or short the weaker one, ideally. And you're good. I don't know how many people in our community have gotten funded. I don't know how many, but there's a lot. So it would be different if I was the only funded trader, or if there was like 2 or 3 funded traders out of like 175 people. There's way more than that. There's way more than just 3 or 4 of us. There's a massive amount of you guys out there. And that's a good question, Hotshot. Why do people make it so difficult? And doing nothing when nothing is there, right? People make things difficult. I don't know, man. As humans, we're just self-sabotaging people. We're just self-sabotaging, man. I think some people like drama because they like the attention. Some people like being a victim because they like the attention that it gives them. And I don't know, man. Why do some of us make the same trading mistakes over and over again? Fuck. It could be a number of things. I mean, it could be feeling like you don't deserve it, maybe. I mean, dude, I made a video on this like last year. There was a mindset masterclass I did. I went over a bunch of trading mistakes and how to get past them, you know? People don't just make trading difficult, though. They make their own life difficult. They only have one income. They like to spend all their money, not invest in anything. They don't read. They don't become better people. They don't find better ways of thinking. Most people just I don't know, live aimlessly through life. No goals, no dreams or ambitions or whatever. They just daydream. Oh, that's nice. That's a cool car. That's a cool marriage. Right? Just like being a bitch about it. and never actually doing something about it. Whoops. Never actually doing something about it. Dude, I just found out like 2 or 3 days ago. I thought I've only been teaching for like 5 years. Dude, I've been teaching for more than 7 years. Time has flown by. Okay? This entire time, I've been teaching you exactly how to do that. How to do better, how to trade better, how to think better. Just how to be better overall. You know? As I become, I believe so. As I become a better person, again, I think so. What I try to do for you guys, for the public, for free, on my social media, right, is I share these ideas with you. I share the book recommendations. I have my own book page, the wall shelf. You know what I mean? I share the books that I'm reading that I find to be valuable. I don't just teach you for the sake of teaching you. I demonstrate, okay? I'm only going to say this once, but I fucking demonstrate excellence, okay? You don't drive a brand new fucking sports car from being a dumbass. You get me? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to put some money in your pocket, okay? I'm trying to get you to become smart. I want you to be fit. I'm not as fit as I'd like to be, but, you know, I try to make sure you're at least healthy to some degree. You know what I mean? And I try to get you some skill sets that cannot be taken from you. You learn how to trade, no one's taking that. They could take away your funded account, you know, I don't know. The government could probably seize your assets. I mean, you got to be in some deep shit for that to happen. You know, but as far as the actual skill set goes, once you learn it, nobody's going to take it from you. Nobody can take it from me. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I've ever done is help you. Read this, read that, print the charts, learn from your mistakes, watch the content, watch the videos. Liking the stream is extra. It's probably why you don't do it. You know what I mean? But that's all I've ever done for you guys. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. Okay? Look at those highs we just made. We just made some short-term highs below that weekly imbalance. So that'll probably be important. Maybe not for today, but that'll be important at some particular point. You know? And that's it, man. That is it. I come on here 4 times a week for free. I try to drop a lot of value. Yeah, sometimes I bullshit around. Sometimes I talk a little bit of shit. But I only talk shit after I demonstrate. Buying near the low of the day, buying the low of the fucking year. Okay? I can talk all the shit I want. So, may not be very stoic, but it does count as marketing. I'd say that. So, but that's it, man. Do you guys have any sort of questions for me before we hop off? We're pretty much at the end of the session. It's been fun. It's a fun day. My car's a little bit dirty. I got to go wash it. But it's hot out, bro. It's 91 outside. I'm trying not to like get cooked. You know what I mean? Might wait for the evening time. Yeah, they could probably wipe my memory, I guess. I don't know. I'd probably just off myself if that was the case. Like, what? I used to be a day trader and now I don't know shit. Alexa, find me the nearest cliff. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Fucking out of here. But the government cooked my hard drive. No, it wasn't them. It was me. My computer had froze, and then I reset my computer, and that I think is what cooked it. So it was an accident. I did it dozens of times before and never had a problem. But it's my fault, you know? So. But all right, if there's no more questions, man, then y'all be good. Be blessed. I hope you guys learned something today. You know, sometimes it's not about doing the right thing. Sometimes it's about not being stupid. You know, that comes right from Charlie Munger. He said it differently, but that's the gist of it. It's not always about being a genius. It's easier to avoid doing what's wrong than to be a genius. That's the real inversion model. You know what I mean? That's the real inversion model. Make a list of what to do, make a list of what not to do, and it's easier to avoid doing the wrong shit. So what's left after that? Excellence. See you tomorrow.